Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nerdverse Odyssey, episode 11. I am your host, Nico, accompanied by the love. Actually, okay, first off, let me just start with this. Different format tonight. But now on my upper right is Captain Chunky Pants Hunter. Let's all give him a round of applause. Thank you. How's the cutting going? Because you look like you've been cutting cake in the middle of the night.
Yeah, no, I'm very, very much enjoying the bulk. It's my favorite right now.
So what is your bulking tool? Is it
also you might want to redo this because you currently have no video.
What do you mean I have no video? I'm looking at my video right now on both OBS and the screen.
I can see his video.
I think
perhaps.
Are you sure?
Perhaps it is you that is wrong, my friend.
No, I shared it in the general channel. I guess I'll leave and come back.
Let me take a look.
Okay, well, Hunter will be back in
off
a bit.
to a great start.
Perfect. All right, and now to my immediate right. Okay, well, yeah, Hunter, clap for he's fat. Okay, there we go. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm having a good time.
Cool. Nobody cares. And to my right is the one, the only, the fabulous, the beast from the east, Mr. Rico. How you doing, Mr. Rico?
Salutations. I am doing great, recovering well from GalaxyCon.
Oh, yes, we're going to have to talk about that because I'm hoping that was fun. But before we get to that, above me is a new face today, a bearded face, one wearing cosmic headphones. Our special guest today is Mr. Glenn. How you doing, Glenn?
Good evening, gentlemen. Oh, thank you. Really? Appreciate it.
Bravo, that was good.
I didn't do it. My name's Glenn. I've been a storyteller for so many years, and I know the asshole below me let's see, when did I first meet you, Nico? It was
2015, I think.
No, it was 2014.
Yes.
Immediately. Mm-hmm. Because I just came over to the DC area from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And I was friends with Lee and Alicia next door.
Yep.
Who were my next door neighbors. And then they knew you or they knew Danny who knew you.
Yep.
There we are.
So what are you two doing for your 10-year anniversary?
Probably butt stuff.
I mean,
the bad stuff.
Just as long as I can call a shotgun.
Yeah, so there you go. That's the 10th anniversary.
That's the weirdest way to check your prostate, but yeah, go ahead.
It's not the weirdest, dude. It's the most effective.
Homies can give homies can give oil checks to other homies. That's like rule number 1 in the book.
You remembered the term. I'm so proud of you.
I did. It'll only happen once this entire show. But yeah, no. Glenn is our.
In case you're not aware, in like wrestling and grappling sports, if you wanna like get a dirty advantage against your opponent, you can oil check them, which usually involves a thumb in the butt.
What's funny is that actually next week I'm actually going to be in my first jiu-jitsu tournament. So I very well may. No,
dude, just butter your pooper. You'll be fine.
Oh man, let me tell you. No, it's the craziest thing because so I'm 340 pounds of hard packed muscle. Point division. There's no division for my division. I recently dropped 50 pounds, topping out at 390. Thank you, gentlemen. It's not without hard work and determination and my wife's spectacular cook. Oh, there we go.
There we go. The claps.
But yeah, I worked very hard to get to where I was, because I didn't want to, I wanted to get close to be able to do actual competitions. This one's going to be just in the dojo where we're at. So I'm pretty excited about that all the same.
That's awesome.
Nice.
How long have you been waiting for?
Congrats.
So I started up again back in 2018, but it's been kind of spotty because of I've been also doing conditioning classes as well. And so with Coach V, she's a really, really kick-ass person that has taught me a lot in terms of how to exercise and stuff like that. But overall, it's been a hell of a journey. Basically, I got out of the Army in 2018, and then I stopped running, and I got fat, and then did I say 2018 when I started? I'm sorry. That was whenever I got out of the Army, and then took a 3-year hiatus, got fat, and then in 2021, I was like, man, you're about 10 pounds away from being 400 pounds, bro. You should probably do something about that. And so I was like, yeah, I should probably do something about that.
Yeah,
so I did.
But before you go a little further, you have to tell the group how tall you are, because that puts a lot into perspective.
I'm 6'5", so
I much rather read it when you're Danny DeVito height.
just like a chode of a man.
I want to watch Danny DeVito walk into like a Master 3 super heavyweight division and just wreck shop. That'd be great. In my mind, that's an enjoyable tournament.
Yeah, but he has to be doing it as the trash man.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Does he keep his trash man name?
Oh yeah, no, you can't break kayfabe. You can't break kayfabe.
But that's awesome. Congrats. They're actually making fun of me for calling me fat earlier because I'm intentionally trying to gain weight because I was sick of cutting down to like 125 for tournaments, and my most recent tournament I cut down to 140, and I did
what's
that.
What's your sport, dude?
Jiu-jitsu. And so
kick ass. Rock
It
on.
says in the hat right above you.
Whoa.
But yeah, no, he's out in Oklahoma, so you guys might actually fight each other at some point, assuming he decides to, gain some weight.
Are you in Oklahoma?
Like, it'd be like Incredible Hulk and
No, he's in
Spider-Man.
Texas.
Oh, not close enough.
Whoa.
We're just enjoying the sound.
Shit just got serious.
Oh, it's gonna be a fun episode.
Oh, we finally became that podcast that uses fucking soundboards. I love it.
Hey, I'm waiting for Hunter's joke of the.
Oh
podcast.
yeah, well yeah, he never gave it to us.
I was gonna say that I got a haircut because I was inspired by The Crow and all this skullet talk that you guys had, and I couldn't quite get to the skullet because I couldn't bring myself to it, but I did get much closer.
Oh my!
So we're pretty close these days on the mullet.
Oh,
Dude,
then I was going to follow that up with the joke of the day.
It's perfect. It's perfect. You know what you need to do? You need to go find an indie circuit near you and start wrestling, because you look like the perfect carny. You're gonna bring back that 1920s, son.
See, I was really just thinking I needed to get like the black leather trench coat and some like black face makeup and just go full on cosplay to the premiere of The Crow.
so you'd be like a new age Sting or something.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, let's be fair. That was Sting's look. He just took the Crow.
I mean, basically. But hey, Glenn, are you an Avatar fan? Like The Last Airbender?
Oh, no.
Ah, okay. Well, do you at least know of
Sorry.
the
Yes, I have.
Nobody likes your stupid little anime.
No. Well. Oh, we're doing sound effects now. I see.
Oh god, this is gonna be a fucking trash fire. I can't wait to listen to this on the car ride
There's no way
tomorrow.
to shut it. Well, regardless, do you know why the Fire Lord is scared of the Avatar?
Why is the Fire Lord scared of the Avatar? Could it be because whenever he blows, his powers get a little bigger? I don't know. No, because I don't know, man. You stumped me.
Because the Avatar gives him anxiety.
Oh. Oh, you had some trash.
It's better
in
with the
past.
sound effects.
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, we're gonna be those assholes now. All right, fuck, we're going off the rails. Fuck it, Hunter. How was your
Oh,
week?
Glenn's fault.
We were on the rails.
He corrupted us.
He did. How was your week, Hunter? What'd you do?
So, we have not stopped talking about The Crow for the last month, and
Yep.
because of that, I decided I had to watch The Crow again.
Mhm.
And my God, I forgot just how bad that movie was. It was the most beautiful train wreck I've watched in years. I loved it.
God,
Loved every moment of it.
Yeah, it's
And
like what
especially like
Oh no, sorry.
especially after because of how they filmed it after Brandon Lee's death. Every time he's on screen, you just see him like this no matter what. You just stare at the back of his head for a solid 10 minutes of
Yep.
the film. Uh, and also, I forgot at one point when he kicks one of the guys out a window and he's falling down like the middle of the stairs to the ground level, about to die. You can see that the stuntman is on a wire, and you can see the rig coming off of his stomach in a solid like second and a half, 2 second long shot, and it was great. I forgot how much I love that movie. Um, I
Nice.
also restarted the latest season of Loki. I got about
Oh.
4 episodes into it,
Nice.
and I could not finish the season
Of
in one
course
go.
not.
I had to take a break because I forgot why I stopped watching it, and it is because I could not stand Jonathan Majors' portrayal of like the weird autistic genius
Yep.
that he was trying to play, and I was like, this is too much. And so like I can't just
Let's-
binge the series.
Let's not overstate the overacting that was done. He was like, "Well, let's see what happens when you kill me. You might just find out." And then they kill him, and it's like, all right, that's kind of anticlimactic, you know. And Loki, he's sitting there staring at the other Loki, and they're both kind of Lokiing, and they're like, smolder, smolder. She's smoldering back, and then they walk away, and that's it. It's like they made up the ending because of the fact that the show got popular, and it wasn't supposed to be like there was supposed to be some other ending, but they were like, "Hey, this is actually making money. Let's draw it out a little bit, see what happens."
They also have, and maybe it changes in the second half of the season. I'll know for next week. But they also are seeming to retcon the whole Loki loving himself with Sylvie as like
Yeah,
the
right?
romantic lead of the series, which I'm totally thrilled about because it was like a next level weird version of Luke and Leia. But yeah, I forgot about that aspect of the show.
Fair.
Other than that, uh, played WWE 2K23. I even made Nick buy it, even though he already had it apparently. So now he just
yeah,
has
we're
two
gonna
copies of it.
we'll get into that when I get to my
Um,
week.
Yeah, it's a kind of a fun game. It weirdly plays a lot like the old N64 versions of like WWE games,
Okay.
and I don't know when the last time any of you have played them. Not in a good way though.
Oh.
In the fact that everything is really, really, really freaking slow, and no input you do feels like it happens within a second of you hitting the button, and anytime you get hit or a combo is thrown, it just feels like everything's going through molasses because they're trying to emulate like the guy slowly getting up and like crawling up the ropes like they would in real life, which kind of makes sense. Except you're playing a game and there's no way to fast forward any of that or like hit a button to make your character speed up. And so you're just
Yep.
sitting there the whole time like, please move. Please do something. For the love of God, do anything. And then the only opportunities you have to counter, you get like a little button icon above your head that you can press to counter something, but it only shows for like 5 frames. So the only thing that actually is supposed to go fast in that game is the ability to counter, but you don't have time to see it half the time. So you're just spamming the Y button on the Xbox controller, hoping that you're going to do something correct. So my GM mode is much more fun than the actual game itself, but it's still like it's decent nostalgia.
Okay. Not fair.
Oh, and Invincible season 2. Have any of you guys been watching that?
No, I'm waiting till it finishes and then I'm gonna binge it.
That's dumb when we have a weekly podcast to talk about nerd things,
Well,
which
okay.
includes a comic book turned animated show on Amazon Prime.
I do know kind of what happens because I read the comics that this happened in, so I know what's going on at least vaguely. It's been a while.
So, what are your thoughts on the last 2 episodes, Glenn?
Brutal. I loved it, man. I absolutely love an anime, or not an anime. No, I like anime. Actually, I'm kidding. No, I like whenever American animation steps up and actually does something. It makes me feel proud, because I'm able to enjoy that comic book style that we own here, and really get into it. there's something else I'm trying to say, and I completely brain farted. But suffice to say, I liked them.
The I'm trying to figure out how to say this without spoilers for these two. What did you see the gunshot coming?
Well, they certainly didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think that was actually going to happen. I was like, "Oh, this is a weird cliffhanger," and then as soon as the next episode started, like, "Oh, that is awesome! Did not see it coming." And then it just got better from there. And I really want to talk about this more, but both of you guys down there suck. So,
All right.
Really puts the Rex in Splode.
Wow. Oh my god.
and
I can't handle
I
you two.
also
in my
watched the
defense,
first two episodes.
I just been busy, so
You haven't even started the first season.
it's neither here nor there.
He's been busy for years, guys. All right.
Yeah,
All
exactly.
you have to know is that
And I imagine we'll talk about this a little bit later. But I also watched the first two episodes of X-Men '97, and I have
Nice.
thoughts.
Fair. All right. I'll jump in my week because it was pretty quick, and then we'll go to Glenn, and then Rico because I know Rico's got Galacticon to talk about. Galacticon, is that what it's called?
Wait, didn't we talk about that last week?
GalaxyCon.
GalaxyCon, whatever. Close enough.
Is this not the same con?
I guess no. It was a different convention.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
this one had William Shatner.
Yes, it did.
What's
all right.
that like?
Shatner, I don't even know her.
Wow. Oh, okay. Yeah, so my week was pretty cool. Sunday.
You miss me?
Sunday I got a tattoo. I'll show it to the camera. Got a bunny. It is flip backward. It says Daisy.
You should hold your arm the other way.
It's kind of hard to do. There, you gotta see it. There you go. It's still gonna be backwards, but no, I got it.
That's brutal with the umlaut, buddy. That's awesome.
But yeah, I got that because my rabbit died last May, so she was my little bundle of fluffy loves. But I was really sad when she died, and I wanted to get something to remember her by because she gave me something to remember her by. Because I forget when it happened, but my son was doing something with her, like picking her up, and she freaked out. So I went to catch her when she fell out of his hands, and she had caught me with her, I think it was like the thumb or the back leg, and tore me from the top of my wrist all the way down here. And it hurt like hell. She got really, really deep. And I ended up getting a really cool scar that kind of looks like the underline on a signature. So I got her name signed since she left a lasting mark on me.
I did think it was just really weird that you like baked the bunny into a stew though and fed it to your kid. Like, you guys don't live on the prairie. It's been a year now, and I still think it's weird.
You're an asshole. No,
It's the weirdest
sorry,
reenactment of Fatal Attraction.
no, he's being a smart ass. No, she was cremated, and she's in an urn next to my bed.
I see. I have an interesting quip about my grandfather and some barbecued rabbit that I'm sure I can tell later on. It's absolutely wonderful.
Fair.
Or I can say it right now.
Go ahead. I mean, you jumped right in.
So, my grandfather worked for Metro as a mechanic,
Mhm.
and he had a small farm that he had all his kids on, and my grandma and everybody. They had goats and donkeys and chickens and rabbits and crap like that. And so my grandfather, he had brought this rabbit that he had barbecued, and had it in his lunch pail, and then turns around, it's gone. I had eaten it. Some guy, and my grandfather, in a fit of curmudgeony, he he is openly bragging to his coworkers how it felt so bad that he wasn't able to have that barbecue rabbit, and he was like, oh man, or one of those other coworker's like, "Oh man, so this barbecue rabbit that must have been really good though, huh? Oh man, that sucks. How'd you catch it? Did you like hunt it or did you like do you raise them?" He was like, "No, I just found it out in the yard. You know, I was out there and saw the rabbit, picked it up, and then I made the rabbit." He says, "Excuse me, what sound did the rabbit make?" He was like, "Rabbit, meow, rabbit, meow." this guy turned green because he had been the one who had in fact eaten the rabbit. It was rabbit, but it was rabbit, right? And so suffice to say, my grandfather never got his lunch stolen again. It didn't help, or it didn't hurt that my grandfather, he's from Bahrain, over in off the coast of Saudi there, and so English as a second language, it's the Egyptian word for cat is in fact
rabbit.
Meow.
No, it's meow.
Oh,
yeah. Or Mao. I think it's Mao.
Mm-hmm.
It's Mao, meow, something like that. Yeah. So, like, it makes good sense. So, buddy, whenever you say barbecue rabbit, that's the first thing I think of is that.
That's clever. That is clever. But yeah, so I got the tattoo. Aside from that, I bought some comic books. I actually went out and did something. I picked up Yojimbo Volume 1, Bubblegum Crisis, which was I think it was a Dark Horse release. It was the only American created Bubblegum Crisis thing. So I was like, all right, cool, pick it up. And then the other one I got was an old First Comics like spy thriller, because I really like those old school like Bond Dessiné style comics. So I found it. It was $2. Had to buy it. By the way, Rico, don't sleep on McKay's Bookstore in Manassas. That place is amazing for comics.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving you a heads up on that one.
I got you.
But yeah, aside from that, bought some like I said, got some comics. Worked. Didn't really play any video games. I did, however, pick up one of these little bad boys, the Haute 42. It's a keyboard style arcade stick that uses micro switches. So had to get clicky ones. And
there's no ASMR happening. You have noise cancellation on.
I know. Either way, they're very clicky, so I'm happy. So I got myself a nice little arcade stick there. And that
as long as you're happy, I'm happy.
Thank you. But yeah, no, that was it. I do have some things I want to talk about when we hit the news section because, oh my God, did you guys see that the trailer for everything just dropped today?
Okay. Define everything.
Trailer for everything?
Yeah, there was a huge list of shit. I wrote it all down, actually.
I know I've seen the Acolyte. That had me.
Yeah, so that's when I wanted to talk about that. So there was
Beetlejuice.
Acolyte, Beetlejuice, Late Night with the Devil, Alien Romulus, and then there was another one that for games it was Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
So here's the reason why I don't think it's gonna be interesting. I'm thinking it's gonna be kind of like I think it's gonna be another like live service third-person shooter game. Only because I'm getting Kill the Justice League vibes off it because it's Black Panther, Captain America, and two generic soldier dudes. So it looks like a squad shooter.
Excuse me, one of those is a soldier lady.
Oh, I'm sorry, a soldier lady and a soldier guy. So soldier dudes. Dudes is genderless, bro.
No, that's dudette. Get it right. No, I did not see that all of the trailers dropped.
Oh, okay.
I mean, the graphics look dope in it, though.
Yeah. What I will say is the graphics in the new Marvel game look pretty good. I hope it doesn't suck.
I'm super excited for Deadpool and Wolverine coming out.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That does look like it's gonna be fun.
Yes.
We got a fact for the game. They have Carrie Payton I don't know if you guys know him. He does a lot of voice acting, and then he's also was the Don't Kill Me. He played in Walking Dead as the guy who had the tiger.
Oh yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
get
yeah.
that far in the season.
Dude with the
So he'll
dreads.
be playing. He'll be playing. He'll be playing T'Challa's grandfather in the game.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in seeing Acolytes just because it looks like it's gonna be a trash fire.
You see my photo? Who the
I
acolyte is?
No, I don't think I did.
You're gonna be happy when you see who it is.
All right, I'll take a look at it. I can't. Oh, actually, yeah, I can't on my phone. But yeah, so that one looks fairly interesting. But I think it's gonna be interesting in the fact that it's gonna be a hot mess. So I am excited to see that. The Late Night with the Devils looks like one of the coolest horror movies, and it comes out tomorrow.
Oh, dude, I want to see that so bad.
Right?
That, yeah,
That's the one with the
almost feel
dancing
like.
girl?
No, it's the guy who played the Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad.
Mm-hmm.
He plays like this late night
Oh,
talk
okay.
show host, and it's filmed in the 70s, and it has like that 70s filter veneer over it, so it looks like you're actually watching a show that aired in the 70s.
Well, they aired it. I mean, they advertised it as like found footage, but I mean because
Yes.
of the fact that it's done with professional cameras, it doesn't look like
Sh-
Shake Cam 4000.
Yeah.
Like, oh god, it's gonna get me.
Yeah. But they did one of those extended scenes where they're showing things, and they had like a I guess it was like a psychic or a medium on the show, and he's like he's standing there in the middle. He's like, oh, I'm getting a vision. He's like, he's like screaming because his head starts hurting, and then he like lifts his eye up, and like one eye does the Undertaker flip, and then the other eye, and he's like, oh, I'm looking for such and such, and he's like got so much intensity. I thought it was gonna be like that scene in Scanners where the dude's fucking head exploded. We didn't get that, but it was still like I was like, ooh. I want to see where this is going because this looks fucking weird. But yeah, I'm excited to see that one. And then Aliens Romulus looks like it could be good. I do have high hopes because the guy who did the remake of Evil Dead is the one who is directing this. And that dude knows how to do just cringe horror, like body cringe horror. So I'm very
There's been a lot of reboots recently on a lot of things. I mean, like Beverly Hills is coming back.
Mhm.
Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. It's
Yep.
coming back. Yeah,
Don't forget
Yeah.
the Scream requel.
yeah. Terrifier 3.
Oh
You
yeah,
know, so on
Terrifier
and so
3
forth.
looks great.
Yeah, it's kind of nutty.
So I just watched the Alien Romulus teaser.
Mhm.
It's actually the set looks really cool. Like all the
does.
sets and all the clips they show look great. It looked like there was a practical effect of like the alien coming out of
Mhm.
the girl's mouth, and like even that really quick shot where it has the little like survival ship coming out and like traveling through space before the explosion. It looked like at least most of that was practical as well.
Yeah.
So like it looks like they put a lot of effort into it, at least visually. So
Mhm.
as long as the story isn't terrible, and maybe we get a guy with some guns that come out of his hands when he does this, it might be good.
Fair enough. But yeah, that was
You,
Where does
Okay.
this lie in the franchise though? Is this like before
So-
Ridley or is it?
after Ripley. I think this is like end of timeline. It's like this is like the newest in the time, or like the newest in the timeline.
So this is the after. Is this
I
like
think this is after.
after number 2 or after 3 or after 4?
It could be after 2, in between 3, or it could be after Resurrection. But I gotta bounce for a few seconds, guys.
But
You
where
just
does
continue?
where does Alien vs Predator land in the mix here?
I thought that wasn't canon because it
Is
didn't
it
do so
not?
good.
I don't believe it is. Yeah, I think that's like in the same timeline as the video games, as far as I
See, I
understand.
thought
Especially the first one.
I thought the Alien vs Predator movie and the game that came after were part of the canon of the franchise.
Mhm. That may have
I couldn't-
changed after Alien vs Predator 2,
This is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
and
So,
especially after the one they made.
I mean, there wasn't a whole lot that Adrian Brody, right? Yeah. I know his last name is Brody, but there wasn't a whole lot he could do to save that movie. He tried real hard, but was a little rough.
Speaking of trying hard, just one word for you guys. Twisters. Coming out July 19th. What about that?
Yeah.
No.
What was
I
that one
don't
again?
know. Twisters, Bill Paxton's swan song, man.
Isn't
Yeah, we
that
talked about that. We talked about that before.
isn't
Oh,
that
okay.
Glenn Powell? Isn't he in that one?
I don't know. I'll have to take a look. But I don't know. I mean, between Twisters and the Borderlands casting, which one do you think would be better?
Neither,
I
because I
think
feel the Puerto Rican guy's gonna die, and I'm gonna hate the movie off the bat. Somehow, he has to be sacrificed to the tornado.
I think Twister is probably going to do pretty well. Plus, we get to see David Cornsweet in it, who's cast as the new Superman, and I've never actually seen him in anything. So, hopefully it's good. Isn't there a Tremors movie coming out as well?
It better
I
not
don't know,
be.
man. I swear to
It
God,
better not
man.
be. Come on.
They're just like twisting and squeezing all these old IPs, and I've just wondered to myself if, like, at the end of the movie, right, for the Twisters movie, all of a sudden the Twister, turns into a water spout, and then all of a sudden sharks get taken out of the water, sucked up into the vortex, and then it turns out that Twisters is in fact the prequel for the first Sharknado.
That would be funny.
It all
I'd be
makes
like,
sense now.
well, I wouldn't put it past them if they did something like that. Because I remember The Thing they did, and I thought it was a remake of The Thing, and I hated the whole movie how it was going until the very end where they had the connection between, oh, this is the camp that had the dog, that the dog raced to the other one and was getting chased by the helicopter in the beginning of the actual Thing movie. That was the only thing that saved it for me. Like, you had that connection, that's about it, but I didn't like it on that part. So
If we're going to go with franchise remakes, why don't we just do Jason Does Manhattan one more time? I want to watch him box with somebody on a New York rooftop again.
I want to go to the subway of all the action they've been having. Somebody just
Freddy
pushed him on the
Krueger
track.
versus Jurassic Park.
I wouldn't be mad at
Nico.
it. It'd be awful, but I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's just like a bunch of little dinosaurs, placidly sitting there like, finally getting some rest because, the Tyrannosaurus Rex isn't going to eat me because I'm, saving my little hovel. Those little teeny tiny dinosaurs that ate that one dude. And then all of a sudden one of them wakes up and Freddy's hand comes through his chest. And then he crawls out of this impossibly small space that is this itty bitty dinosaur. And he's like, I'm back. That would be it. That would be it.
But then we can't have Chris Pratt in the film. So I guess he just goes over to the new Godzilla and Kong franchise films.
Sure.
And we're just gonna keep hopping around. Somebody to do a new franchise. Eventually we'll get back to Kevin Bacon.
Wait, what was Kevin Bacon in?
Tremors.
Oh, Tremors. Sure.
Yeah, fair.
Tremors, White Hot Summer,
Oh no, I know what movies he's been in, but
R.I.P.
Footloose.
R.I.P.D.
he wasn't in
Wait,
R.I.P.D.
that was Jeff Bridges, wasn't it?
That was Jeff Bridges and Ryan Reynolds.
Okay,
He
so
was
if
the
they,
partner, he was. Go ahead, Glenn. Glenn is probably going to correct you guys, so I'm gonna let him get it. Get him.
I was going to
Get 'em.
say, well, no, mine was a completely separate thought. I apologize.
Oh, man.
So you go. No, I was going to say, if in the case we did a Tremors crossover with a horror movie, the only one that would work due to the paradigm of being in the rural South is it had to be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It'd be Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Leatherface versus the ass blasters.
Oh my god.
Okay. That sounds amazing. Don't get me wrong, but hear me out. Giant tremor worm comes popping out of the ground, and on the back of it, riding it
It's
like
John
this is
Cena. Do, do, do,
Dune. Or Pinhead is riding the worm.
Ooh, okay, well, I like the idea of Pinhead riding the worm. I don't see how you could get Pinhead and the worm to join up because the worm wouldn't find pleasure from pain.
You don't know that.
I mean, they had the dogs.
Don't
They
kink
had the
shame the
dog.
worm.
Maybe it's just got to go through its goth phase.
Which, by the way, can we just discuss fucking Hellbound Heart for a second here? What the fuck is up with the Cenobites? I love the book, I love the movie, but honestly, what the fuck was Clive Barker smoking when he thought of the Cenobites?
I don't think he was smoking. He was injecting.
I'm pretty sure he might have been
think
smoking
so,
something,
yeah.
but it might have just been another dude.
Before the correction on RIPD, Kevin Bacon was Ryan Reynolds' partner, who ended up set him up to be killed.
Is he the villain of the film?
Yeah, he's the villain of the film.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Kevin Bacon plays a pretty good villain.
Mm-hmm. Just like
I watched
Halo
it
and
once.
Wild Things. And he showed his penis.
Or Hollow Man too. That was another one where he dropped dong.
Yeah, that was a creepy movie.
That movie was so fucked up, but it was
real messy.
Yeah, it was still pretty good, but it was a fucked up movie.
It's one of those movies that, like, you watch it at the time, you're like, this was pretty good, and then you go back to it 10 years later, you're like, what?
Oh, kind of like The Cell. Do you remember watching that? The Jennifer
One time.
I had several naughty thoughts about that entire movie.
Jennifer Lopez, J-Lo.
I'm just saying.
Lopez, thank you, J-Lo.
Jenny for the
Timer
block.
today.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I'm just gonna say, like, that woman hasn't changed like one bit. She's got to be drinking that same juice that Keanu Reeves and and
You gotta see where that makeup come off.
I'm just saying. I mean, given any situation I'd find myself in, there wouldn't, sight wouldn't really be a big thing for me. You know what I mean?
I'm not the one getting us canceled this week. Fuck you guys.
Not yet. You still have plenty of time.
Oh man, do you
But
guys hear ringing?
Rico, have we
I
started your week yet?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, that's fun. I think I'm going deaf. Just got a ringing in my ear.
Right.
Hold on, let me help you.
Nothing changes.
Does that help?
That
love
actually
the
did. All right,
clapping
thank you. Thanks
for
for
a
the
podcast.
assist.
Hey, you're welcome.
It's actually Glenn's turn to share his week,
yeah,
unless
it's
you
Glenn's
guys
turn,
want
and
me
then
to
we
do
get
mine.
to the big one.
Okay,
I
so
like how I'm the big one. I'm the main event. Ooh.
what concerning my week do you want to know?
Well, first of all, why don't you tell us what you do and what makes you so special in the whole Nerdverse Odyssey special guest category?
Well, I do storytelling. As I was previously introduced, I'm a GM, working with a very talented young man by the name of James Alston to work on a project known as the World of Darkness Underground Railroad. It is the World of Darkness setting in the lead up to the Civil War, and the supernatural influences that shaped both sides of the Underground Railroad, and stuff like that. So it's a really neat project. And secondly, we are also working on an omnibus of all the different spirits that are in the World of Darkness, and trying to create a centralized resource that is translatable to all the different splats. So as to say, you have a fire elemental in one book and a fire elemental in another book, and they're both spirits as defined by the World of Darkness, but one whenever they list out like the different gifts that they give werewolves and stuff like that in the World of Darkness, they don't say like elemental blast, even though elemental blast says it can be taught by an elemental spirit, which is kind of weird. And so we're trying to, I guess, patch a couple of those holes, connect the dots, put the yarn on the wall, for the World of Darkness. For those of you who aren't familiar with the World of Darkness series, it's a series of games that were created during the early 90s to now, and a couple of the franchises that you might recognize, like Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Mage the Ascension, Demon of the Fallen, Hunter of the Reckoning, so on and so forth. There's a couple of video games that they created. One of which is slated to come out sometime soon. After being on hiatus several different times, it's the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, of which the first Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines was a masterpiece, albeit flawed.
A very flawed, janky masterpiece.
But with the help of some fans and a massive community behind it, became a spectacular game. That
and
even
you can
holds
pick it
up
right now in the Steam Spring Sale for I think like $2.
Dude, but it's totally worth it because
it's worth it for full price too, because I think it's only like what, $20 now. They dropped the price a while ago, but it is a good game worth the time and effort to like patch it up and play it.
And for all intents and purposes, I mean, Bloodlines really nailed it whenever it came down to, I guess, the feel of the World of Darkness. There's actually a group that I have together every Tuesday from 7:30 to 11 o'clock at night for the past 5 years that we've played various different games. But first of all was Mage of the Ascension, which is my favorite out of all the series. It has a really, really cool narrative system that allows you to create these magical effects in a low fantasy setting. Low fantasy meaning like, you know, it's just like today. There's cars, there's people, credit cards, you know, cops, accountants, you know, except, you know, you have, well, things that also go bump the night, like, you know, werewolves and vampires and mages and demons and Fomori, which is a whole nother thing that I would not suggest reading the source book on that unless you were of age. And even then, I would suggest against it. It's pretty graphic. I think at one point in time, there's like this monster basically is like evil incarnate, and you can get things like mutations, like, you know, a face on your butt, you know, and it's like, okay, what does that do? Well, somebody grabs your ass, you bite him with it, you know. I just, you know, it'd be good for you, Nico, seeing as that happens to you all the time.
Brings a whole new meaning to sit on my face.
I like that I was spewing 100. 100's like, yeah.
So, but yeah, no, it is a it's a really, really great series in general, you know, apart from Ass Face. That has a lot of really great lore, and has been had lore contributed by some of the greatest minds in fiction nowadays. I'm pretty sure Neil Gaiman had some part in some of the source material. It's like really, really good.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, and so that's a product that me and James are putting together, and hopefully it should be out soon. We've been working on it for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, but it's been a lot, and we're both very, very busy guys. So yeah, that's the big writing project. What else? Oh, I'm going to the Alamo City Game Convention this weekend.
Nice.
Yep, it is a board gaming convention that they hold yearly, and it is part of the trifecta of board gaming conventions that you can experience here in San Antonio, being FlingCon by the ever effervescent Joseph Fling, and then the Alamo City Game Con, which is happening this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then new up and comer to the field is the 210 Gaming Con, which is hosted by some good friends of mine, and I'll actually be on their podcast also to talk about that there. So it's kind of neat. So yeah, a little crosstalk.
Were
Yeah.
you up at Token Con here in Oklahoma City last week?
No. I'm a very busy man. I'm a government contractor and the only guy that does the job that I do. And they rely heavily upon me. I wish I could go. Believe you me.
Yeah, this is the first. This is the first year in like 4 years where I haven't made it to it, and they changed venues, and it's supposed to have been really great. But yeah, it's the only really like solid board gaming convention we have here in Oklahoma.
Well, you got a home here in San Antonio. Should you ever need it? I mean, you look familiar enough because I know your
fuck
brother.
that. Last time I was in San Antonio, somebody broke the tailgate on our truck and stole the tail lights like the day after we got there. It was a great time.
That's really surprising because I mean, like, Texas well enough. I mean, being that's big talk coming from Texas's hat. Okay. And so
got a wrestling event going on right now.
That's okay. I don't want to wrestle with Oklahoma's butt.
Oh, them southern
Not quite sure.
rivalries.
I'm not quite sure how to respond to that. Whether I should dignify it with a response and defend Texas or let it just stand on its own. Just saying. You just made yourself.
If it makes you guys feel any better,
today, friend.
Texas and Oklahoma.
There you go.
Fuck you.
Not necessarily defending Oklahoma either. Let's not get
No, I'm very proud of my state, but it's perfectly fine. Oh, you are. It's one of those things. Like it's like and I've been all around the states, and people are like, "Oh, you're from Texas. Oh man, you guys are assholes about Texas." I'm like, well, yeah, because we're the best. But it's one of those things that like just kind of carries over. It's a state of mind and way of just being proud of the history and the absolutely wonderful things that we gave the world, like Six Flags. Six Flags over Texas was in reference to the Six Flags that flew over Texas at any point in time. Veritable rainbow of history. I don't know. I could go on.
I love how your first thing to talk about the greatness of your state is an amusement park.
Well, I mean, we have a state critter, the horny toad. We have that's the state lizard. The state critter is there, a three-banded armadillo. We have state tree, which also just happens to make our state dessert. Song.
Cans?
We got Texas Roadhouse.
We have a Texas Roadhouse. Yeah, we have roadhouses. Yeah. It's like you attach Texas to just about anything, and it's just that more badass. I mean, come on.
Hey, man, it's okay. We all live in our own reality. Hopefully one day you can break out of yours.
I'm just saying. It's like, if you have like, I don't know, like an F-150, and then you're like, F-150 Texas edition. It's that more badass. I'm just saying. As much as
don't forget, there's also them King Ranch.
The King Ranch, which is in Texas.
Yeah, I know.
That's right. Even things that we contain make things that much better. But I divulge. Fine. You can get here as fast as you can. Anyways, so, you can edit that part out.
No, he doesn't edit anything. It's real editing.
For that,
that requires effort.
Oh yeah.
Texas. I love Texas. Texas.
So the next part of this is going over your week, and it's just what did you watch? What did you play? What did you read? Mm-hmm. Anything pop culture, nerd, anime, game related. Just your time to talk about what you did.
Okay, so regarding that, last Saturday I ran a D&D game for some good friends of mine. We usually run about monthly, and I just placed them into the City of Sigil for a campaign pivot from Strixhaven into the into Plane Chase campaign or Planescape campaign. Some recent books that I've gotten that I really, really enjoy. If you can see up top here. Is the Junji Ito series, and I was reading Dissolving Classroom.
Nice. Classic.
Yes. Betwixt, which is really good.
Nice.
And what's funny about this one is that on the front and the back of the book, there's essentially like an American style comic and a Japanese style comic. And then in the middle is basically where the book's like, okay, turn back. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh,
Aha.
that's cool.
It says
that's clever.
it says turn the book around to continue reading stories from the U.S. and then turn it this way. It says turn the book around to continue reading stories from Japan, which I think is kind of fun.
That's
and,
really cool.
Yeah, no, I thoroughly enjoy it. And last but not least, of course, Mimi's Tales of Terror. Let me see if I can stop the glare. There we are, which is really good. I really, really feel it was a good one. I like Junji quite a bit.
Yeah,
I feel
he's
like
a really good horror writer.
Oh yeah, I think actually the way that he lays out his comic book panels to where like if there's a big shock page where it's like he does it only after you turn the page, so you'll like have the lead up, the lead up
splash.
Yeah, you'll have the lead up, then all of a sudden it's like it's some old lady sitting on top of a
washing machine,
a light pole or something. Oh, ew.
So many comments.
So many. And then I looked at that lady on the washing machine. I saw that she was in fact 8 stories tall and weighed 3,500 pounds. And I said, "No, you get away from here, little old lady. Get away from me, Loch Ness monster. I know it's you." I don't know. So my wife hates South Park with a passion, but she also hates Borat, she says.
What about basketball?
That's a classic.
Oh, not as much as she hates Borat, I should say. But the
is it because you won't wear the Speedo?
I will do anything for my wife, including wearing the Speedo, my friend. The question is whether she would ask me.
She doesn't have to ask. We can send it over.
What was that, sweetheart? She definitely would not, she says. So with great luck, I have a wife that won't put me in such compromising positions. Unlike the positions I used to put you in, Nico. But the
oh god,
we were close.
Speaking of oil checks, what are you guys doing for your 10 years?
So, but yeah,
that's a good one.
I've been playing a lot of Koi Koi with my daughter, which is a game playing it's Hanafuda, and I introduced her to Flux. So basically every waking hour that isn't at work doing nerdy stuff, I'm doing other nerdy stuff. So there you go. I keep it full. Nice. Just ask your brother.
Oh shit. Okay, those are perfect. We're doing that. That's the thing now. Okay,
well, 100 gets annoyed.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Well, thank you for the story. Rico, let's hear it. Main event. We're ready.
Well, before we get into that, do you want me to go over the same thing, TV, movies, all that, or just going straight into
let's hear it?
TV, the only thing I've watched is The Big Bang Theory, is because this, far as March, for my job, has been kind of hectic. Like Monday, I don't know if you guys are interested, but this is the DOT regs assigning manifest.
Oof.
This was supposed to be an 8-hour class. It did not end until 5 o'clock, and we started at 8 o'clock. 30-minute lunch break.
Oof.
And I was still stuck at Belvoir.
Woof.
So that was nothing but traffic coming back. But
yeah.
Needless to say, between that, I was just zonked out. But The Big Bang Theory is my new show I'm watching right now, even though Hunter hates it.
Terrible show. I'll die on this hill.
Ironically, I met somebody who also kind of felt the same way. Like, they didn't like it, but they had a love. Him and his wife had a love for the show Psych, which that what brings me and Hunter together. Besides Scrubs, but ironically, he did not. Not ironically, he didn't like Seinfeld, which I never watched.
I love Seinfeld.
I know. Yeah, he was like, I never watched it. Never really enjoyed it. Know the clips, same as me. Just like The Office. I never watched The Office, but I know some of the clips.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But if you talk Parks and Recs, that's my show. Parks and Recs represents the government and military. If you ever work with them, if you really look at the characters, if you go for military, you can see those characters, and you work for the government. It's the same thing.
I mean, they might actually be running it too efficiently for it to be a realistic view into government, even if it is just local government.
Mm-hmm. There's some days when I look at Parks and Rec, and I'm like, I know somebody liked it, or that does make sense when something doesn't get done. So, yeah. But besides that, movies, no movies. But my son who works at Undisclosed actually got the tickets for Dune 2, so I can't wait to
Nice.
watch that one. I was lucky enough to win a giveaway, and I watched the first Dune. Um, even though I had to go to Silver Springs with him, and we were able to watch it like on a Tuesday. But Dune 2, I'm excited for. Never read the books. I know it's the books came out before Star Wars. They actually were the inspiration. I think we debated that one time on the podcast.
I think we talked about that. Yeah, it was Dune and Flash Gordon, because originally George Lucas wanted to make a Flash Gordon movie, and he couldn't get the rights, so he's like, all right, I'll just make it myself then.
Is that your George Lucas impression?
Yeah,
there
wasn't enough diabetes in my throat though. I couldn't get the out.
So
Yeah, but it was like a weird American Sean Connery. That's exactly what I was thinking, and it was awkward. You need to try harder next time.
For the quickening. I don't know.
So, with the new popcorn bucket for the second movie, does it come with a vibration function?
Hopefully, I will know very soon.
All right.
I'm trying to get 2 of those. And even though Nico's laughing, I'm really being serious. I'm like, the Ghostbusters, there's 2 Ghostbusters popcorn things I want. One's the actual trap that actually opens up. That looks cool as hell. Then there's another one from a movie theater called what's it called? Cinemark.
Yeah,
but basically it's Slimer, and he's holding a bucket. And I think the way I see before, I think you pour the popcorn through the head, and it comes out of his mouth. But it's like,
nice.
So I'm pretty sure that was actually a product back in the 90s.
It does sound.
They just
really
brought
familiar.
It back. I think
That'd
so.
Cool.
Like, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure I saw that at one point in time.
Hunter's got a thing.
I got a thing that I forgot to talk about.
Are you having a headache with pictures?
No, I found this out last week, and it relates to all the Gantz episodes we did previously, and I didn't want to forget again because you mentioned Ghostbusters. Does anyone know Slimer's original name in Ghostbusters?
No.
His original name, at least when they were creating the props and everything for him, was Onion Head.
Oh,
and if you look at Gantz, it's actually pretty close to the Onion Head aliens. So I think that those were a reference to Ghostbusters.
Shit, that would make sense because Oku put so many references to U.S. properties in that book. That makes so much sense. Oh yeah, so Glenn, you haven't actually listened to the podcast. The first.
How do you know? How do you know? I might have been a secret fan. One of those fine 13 individuals listening to our voices now.
You wouldn't be on this podcast right now if you listened to any of the previous episodes.
No, I would.
So the first,
because we have a special bond.
But yeah, I want to say it was like the first 5 or 6 episodes. We did the entire gambit of Gantz, issue 1 to 290 or 289 or something like that.
It was like 300, over 300.
It wasn't 300s, but yeah, we went through kind of like almost week through week. We went through a good like couple hundred chapters. Yeah, if you haven't read it, Gantz is great.
Debated.
It's a love it, hate it kind of story.
Yeah.
Do not quote the old magic to me, for I was there when it was written.
It's wizard time, motherfucker! Fireball!
Just saying.
Why does that sound like chutney?
That was so good.
Travis. Anybody?
I derailed us. That's my bad.
Yeah,
but
you
I
really
was.
did.
I
No, you're
really
good,
didn't
you're
want to
good.
forget that again.
Wait, we got that little chutney little thing. Unless
Exactly,
it wasn't
it's what-
chutney. Who was it, Glenn?
What was that?
Who was the sound effect?
Oh, shit.
I don't think that was it.
No, you. It's basically it's something I had on voice mod, and I forgot
okay.
where it came from, and but I remember consuming the media that it came from. Fuck.
Sounds like it came from Travis from Critical Role because he has a character called Chutney. That's why I was like, oh, I gave you kudos.
I don't. Okay, I don't think it was Critical Role. I thought it was Cyanide and Happiness that made that recording.
That does sound like Cyanide and Happiness, in all honesty.
I think it's Cyanide and Happiness. Let me take a look real quick.
I'm gonna say it is, even though I don't know what you guys are talking about. But anyways, going on to my week. All right. So game wise, I played Kingsway.
Nice.
It's my new love-hate game.
How far'd you get? Or did you die? Oh, you died, didn't
I
you?
died twice.
Yeah. Oh.
The first time, all I remember you telling me is like, "Did you see the tentacle thing?"
Yep.
And I was like, "Yeah." It gets, and then at one point I thought it got closer, and then I thought I was doing good, and then all hell started breaking loose. I was fighting more powerful monsters.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, the screen went crazy, and then there's like a big jellyfish monster, whatever I was fighting. Then I died. It was so many boxes popping up. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Then I died.
Yep.
I came back. I was like, all right, cool. Got back on it this week. Picked the Necromancer off the bat. I started getting like new weapons, new gear, better than off. I don't even see the tentacle monster thing coming. And then I guess I bit off more than I could chew. It's ironic. And I didn't make it. But then also I noticed the whole map changed. Like the castle I was supposed to go.
Yes, I think I forgot to tell you. It is a pure roguelike in the purest of sense. The entire world map is randomized, same with everything else. Every run is different.
That makes sense. Okay. 'Cause I was
That
wondering
makes
what the
me
hell
love
I
the
was doing,
challenge.
because off the bat I got like 2 power rings, a club with a nail, then I got some armor. I was like, man, I'm doing really good. And then I was fighting, I got the rhythm of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it just went right when I got to like level 5 or 6. It just went. I'm like, what the heck happened?
Yeah.
Actually, I know what happened was I couldn't find. I kept on running into monsters, and I couldn't make it to either somewhere to sleep. Really, I was looking for a guild so I can cash in some of these quests,
Mm-hmm.
and for the life of me, I couldn't find one.
So
got
what's happening is when you stand under the shadow of the cloud, the god that is the cloud starts sending all of its minions out at you, as well as this like it's like this phantom thing that amps
Yeah.
up the darker the screen is where your character is. So it's kind of like pushing you to finish this quick. That's why you go and use your gems to upgrade and get stronger, because those will be permanent upgrades to your character to make you be able to get through faster.
Gotcha. So it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So
I found.
see, now maybe that was my problem, because I was doing nothing but like oh, there's a shiny yellow circle. Let me go find it. Oh, there's another one. Oh, let me backtrack. Oh, like I'm going everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's kind of storytelling in general. I'm just going to say that. Like, you know, you have the MacGuffin and you have the journey. I have actually a really great book that was recommended to me by the guy who I did the last podcast with, which is Hero of a Thousand Faces, which is written by this guy named Joseph Campbell, who's a spectacular philosopher. Highly suggest reading the book for anybody who is really into storytelling and the hero's journey trope. It is some very, very good reading. I did find the origin, by the way, for that clip. Apparently it goes back to a mod for Doom.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
The
according
remake
to
or the original?
The original. So, according to knowyourmeme.com, Origin on April 15th, 2022, version 1.0 of Realism 2, a mod for Doom, was released. The mod included a level where the player is attacked by wizards. And on July 7th, 2022, it's later, YouTuber Kool-Aid Man 7 posted a video combining 2 audio clips from the mod to make the wizard say, "It's wizard time, motherfucker." Fireball. Over a video of someone lighting a fire in their car, garnering over 75,000 views in a year. And I will be more than happy to post the original video.
Please do. I gotta
the
watch
text
that, 'cause
channel.
I think I know what that video is.
And can you post the book too you recommended to?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Here, let me find the link for it. It is.
And then while Glenn does that, Helldivers 2.
Mm.
Having dived into it, but something that made me laugh was, I guess somebody was complaining, maybe people were complaining about the friendly fire, and the developer basically said, "No,
Yep.
if your weapons can kill aliens, robots, do all types of damage. Why would we curb it to where it doesn't hurt your people? And they were like, plus carpet bombing your friends is funny. So again, it goes back to the Starship Troopers, where again, no matter if you were doing live exercises or not, you would have friendly fire that happens. So I thought that was pretty funny. Destiny 2, I got back into it a little bit because I want that freaking Silver Surfer board, but
man.
I know I'm trying to catch up, but they did two things. One, they introduced a new horde mode called Onslaught. I gotta dive into that one. That's supposed to be coming out in April, and also they did something that necessarily I never saw before, never heard before. Well, basically, when they were doing their live stream, they had a couple of people who decided to be what they call toxic and do all this type of stuff. So I guess they had their names linked up with their accounts, and they banned their accounts from Bungie, from Destiny. From what I gathered, I guess one of the live stream creators accidentally revealed. I think it was a woman. She revealed her name, and when they saw that, it was like bombarded with friend requests and all types of what they call adult content. That was there, and then that's when the ban hammer came about, and they started banning a lot of folks, which I thought was just the YouTube, but apparently that's somehow they linked them to their game and said, you know what, you no longer have access to Destiny no more.
Wow.
On that one, so I do applaud that one.
I mean, if we're going to get Halo 7, we have to have some standards over at Bungie.
Yeah. Even though Halo 3 is the best one. I don't care what anybody says. Halo 2 is the second one.
I'm going to debate that one because Halo 1 was so much better than Halo 2. Halo 2 was so overhyped.
The pistols, man.
Well, are you talking about story mode or
No,
PvP?
I'm talking about like everything. The weapons were horrible in 2 compared to 1. The battle rifles suck. Well, the battle rifles suck.
No.
You're telling me I'm not going to get a full auto machine gun?
You couldn't use them? Battle rifle is like 2 shots to the head.
Yeah, but it's a 3-round
are you
burst.
mad because they
I want
tried
that
to
Rambo
balance
scene
the
where I'm just
guns?
running through mowing down aliens from the hip. I can't get that if it's poo 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 poo.
Poo poo poo.
Yeah, that's what that was the sound of the gun.
It's good, bro. That's all I gotta say.
So
I also
overall,
I will say go ahead.
Overall, best game you've ever played, out of any game you've ever played, video game.
Rap. I played a ton.
Me too. For me, I think it's a toss-up between the original Deus Ex, or secondly, System Shock 2.
Fair.
Yes. System Shock 2 introduced the concept of storytelling through journal things being left behind and no other NPC interactions. And Deus Ex really hammered in the concept of an FPS RPG that finally made it mainstream. I think, and for those, I think those were probably some of the best stories. Tear up a little bit. No, some of the best stories that were ever told in video gaming so far. But that's my judgment. I like a good story. If
I had to pick, it would be kind of a tie. One is going to be from the NES called Bio Billy. It's a oddball. I don't say oddball games. Just for the record, when I did have Nintendo,
Bayou Billy is really one of your top.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
we're saying best of all time.
Yeah.
So best to add context. Again, to me, this is my opinion. I don't care what anybody says or Nico.
Listen, we're in America. You're entitled to your wrong opinion. It's okay.
You goddamn right. I fought for this country. No, I'm joking. I drive a Dodge Stratus. No, Bio Billy, again, the reason why I say that one was because growing up, we had Nintendo. I mean, we had it I think in 1988. I think it came out in 1986. And I love my dad, but the funny thing about it was that when he used to give us games, they weren't name brand games. It was just off brand. I mean, we even had a game where you play Moses from the Bible and Joseph and Mary and stuff.
Nice.
So, in our household is whatever my dad bought is what you got. So Bio Billy was a great game because you had basically 3 modes you can do. You had your regular fighting mode, which is basically 2D moving up and down. You got to drive a Jeep where you got to avoid obstacles, planes dropping bombs. And then you also had a shooting mode, which either you could use the controller or the gun, or whatever they call it. So yeah, I mean, it was a basic, hey, somebody captured my girlfriend, and I'm going out there and I'm fighting all these people. So the fact that you had all those 3 modes in that game, as far as investment wise and story wise, it's gonna be funny. I think that would be that'd be a tie too. Would be Halo, only because I bought the books, the graphic novels. Halo 3, the reason why I think I like that one was because you also had a side disc. So anything you unlock, it'll give you the lore over the different species and stuff. Behind that, I would say, I think it was Call of Duty 2, I think it was. And the only reason why I knew I was invested is when your character, I think it was your character, was it Ghost? Either way, your character you play gets shot along with your partner, and then they're lit on fire. And I remember yelling at the screen like, "What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?" And I'm like, then I had to pause like, "Oh, this is a video game. I'm caught up in this. I need to put my controller down." And now like, and my wife is looking at me funny, and she's like, "What's wrong?" I said, "They just killed me. Like, the general just killed me. I don't give a shit about what happened. I get it. It's fucked up. You people got killed, but I just got." I gotta walk from the game. So those are not number one games. I mean, in a roundabout way, they all get medals on that part.
Got it.
Yeah, that shot is especially bad. Whenever you're leaving, yeah, that's really fucked up.
That's what I know. Like again, if I'm invested into a show, or whatever, that's usually when I get pissed off at it or something. Then it's like, or when Hunter finishes Loki season 2, maybe he'll be like me, where I almost wanted to stand up and do this, like tear almost come out, like I got it. Yes, let's see what Marvel does.
We'll see how next week goes.
Yeah.
Right.
So mine would be also NES game called Marble Madness.
We put so many hours in that fucking cart.
We did, but no, I just wanted to go with the NES. It's definitely not Marble Madness. It is my favorite NES game though. But if just by like total hours logged and money spent, it would be League of Legends. I've definitely spent almost $2,000 on that game over better part of
No, I can't talk shit. I bought stuff.
at least a decade. I finally did that a couple of years ago, and I'm like, let's see how much money I spent. It was like $1,700.
Oh my god!
Damn, I didn't want to know that. But if it's just like general enjoyment, I would say Mario 64 for sure. I still go back to that game all the time. When I got Mario All-Stars for the Switch, even though everybody's like, it's you got to keep it like in the case and you got to get it graded and everything else because it's worth so much. I was like,
nah, I tore that bitch open.
I get Mario 64 out of it.
And hey, guess what? You can still find them in the stores.
Oh, I know, weird, right?
Here's a weird thing, and I didn't know. I know you guys are gonna probably laugh at me. I didn't know there was a battery inside some of the games.
Oh yeah, I actually have a video on how to replace those.
Like I was watching something with Sebastian, and he ran across a video on YouTube where they took it apart. They're like, yeah, so this is how you replace your battery. And I was like, hold on, what do you mean there's a battery in there? Like, what? I'm like, okay. So us blowing on the cartridge didn't do nothing.
No. See, the problem with blowing on the cartridge was the saliva and the spit when you blow oxidizes the gold coated copper. So that would be why you'd have that problem. What Nintendo fucked up and failed to do was they said don't use it was like benzidine or alcohol in the cartridges because it can melt them. Well, the problem was alcohol can't melt it. Alcohol is in fact what you are supposed to use when you're cleaning like circuit boards. It's a very good cleaning agent because it evaporates quickly, so you can't damage anything.
Right.
But yeah, no, they intentionally hindered thousands upon thousands of cartridges because they were just didn't know.
I mean, also, in the name of engineered obsolescence, they kind of won though, didn't they?
Oh yeah. But see, here's the thing though even if you take the copper off them, they will still function. I think they're a little spottier though. But Yeah, if you know what you're doing, they're easy to clean up. But dude, there's still cartridges from like day one that still work today without issues. If they had a battery backup though, that thing probably popped by now. But
See, that's why I have an EverDrive for that thing right there. So I don't have to worry
you're
about
welcome.
that.
Hey, I appreciate that Super Nintendo.
I bet you did. Yeah, the only game
I'm
that I have
still
that
playing that
still
PS2 you gave me, Nico.
Oh, fuck off! Seriously? Nice. I actually hit me up later. I got something to make your life a lot better.
Oh yeah.
ominous.
I
Yeah,
know,
the only
right?
game I still have that has a battery in it is Pokemon Emerald on the GBA, and I play it every now and again because it's a lot of fun. Have you guys ever tried Emerald Kaizen before?
Yes.
Yeah. How far did you get on that before you gave up and
Not
just
that
punched
far.
I never give up because I am a true Pokemon fan. You see this? I held memories
Sword
of
and
my
Shield,
daughter.
Yeah.
I hold memories of my daughter next to my favorite Pokemon game. I have quite literally caught every single Pokemon to date.
Sword
All
and
of
Shield
them.
is your favorite, really?
No. Gold and Silver is my favorite.
Okay.
That is my absolute favorite because my favorite Pokemon is, of course, Totodile, followed closely by Shuckle.
That's fair. I was always
Why
a
Shuckle?
Why not Shuckle?
No, I thought that question was appropriate.
I love Shuckle, man. He's got like this little cute little face, and I feel like I just really, really enjoy Shuckle as a Pokemon. Like, can you imagine the little rock Pokemon just sitting on your chest giving you hugs and be like, or
So
Shuckle,
warm and
Shuckle,
cuddly.
yeah, just a big old rock with tentacles in it. Just love it, man.
For
You know,
me, it's Turtwig
so accessible.
and Totodile. Those are the only Pokemons that live rent free in my head.
Totodile, yeah, best starter ever.
Dude,
No,
it's
all
a
about
little
Squirtle.
tiny crocodile that turns into a big ass crocodile. Although I
Or
will give
you
second
can
runner
get
up to
a little
Panda
turtle.
Chan, because he becomes a giant brawler like a sumo. It's like
Or
Panda Chan or something like that.
you can
You're
get
talking
a
about
little turtle that turns into a gigantic turtle with cannons on its back.
No, the cannon one's cool,
Because
but
that's how
he doesn't
evolution
turn
works.
into a bipedal blue giant crocodile monster.
Yeah, but he has cannons instead.
Crocodile don't need no cannons.
Crocodile needs his cat.
Oh,
I
you
fucking
guys sound
love
like
the other
Peter.
guys. It's such a good movie. For me,
Except his gator.
oh,
Yeah.
Gator. So for me, I would say I want to say something like Dragon Quest because I grew up playing that game and I love it, or Rogue. Grew up with the game playing and loved it, or Doom, or Duke Nukem. But I honestly have to give it to Mugen because the amount
That
of
doesn't count. That is a chicken shit answer if
how
I've
is that
ever
a
heard
chicken
one.
shit answer?
Because it's an amalgamation of all of your favorite characters from every game out there.
No,
it's a chicken shit
the
answer.
fighting game.
Ding.
It's what got me as hard into fighting games as I did. How's that? That's not
Wait.
a chicken shit answer. Fine.
Project
Marvel
X
vs.
Zone,
Capcom 2
what?
then.
There you go.
He said it's
Fine.
amalgamation.
No, he's just being a pedantic cunt.
I am not. You're literally taking your favorite characters from every IP franchise you can think of, be it video games, anime, movies, whatever, and you're glumping them all into an open source platform where you can play them all together. There's no story involved. There's no progression.
No, I get to
there's
beat the
no
shit out
growing
of
and living
everything.
with
It's
these characters.
awesome.
Yeah, it's a bullshit answer, and you know it.
You dirty motherfucker! You probably like Kingdom Hearts. More like Kingdom Farts.
Actually, I never played Kingdom Hearts. But yeah, no, that fine then. It would be Marvel vs. Capcom 2 because I spent every paycheck I got at the go-kart track there on the cab that we had.
Yeah, which was really stupid because I just drilled a hole in a quarter and called it a day.
Imagine with all that money you spent on that machine, you likely purchased that machine. I'm just saying. You put that person's kid through college.
Yes.
Yeah, we actually
Resoundingly
we rented
yes.
them. We rented that machine from another guy, along with I believe it was a pinball machine,
Carnival.
and they were at the track.
It was Pinball
Oh, yeah.
and Carnival.
Yep. And so
You mean
what you could
Carnival?
do-
Thank you. Yeah, Carnival.
what I determined is you could just drill a hole in the quarter and just fish it out over and over again. And that worked for me for a few months until he started getting mad at my parents that they weren't watching people do fraudulent entries on the machine because he kept track of the number of cycles in it. And so then after that, they started yelling at me whenever they caught me doing it. So I realized though, because he only came by about once a month. So if there were like less than 40 additional like plays on the cabinet that he didn't recognize, like there was no coins for it, then like we could get away with, oh, they said it ate their quarter. And so anytime somebody would come be like, hey, it ate my quarter, like, sorry, bro, nothing I can do about it. And then I would just keep that as like an extra tally in my mind of, all right, I could go play that later.
That's funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah, it was good times.
So now to GalaxyCon.
Oh no, take us to space, man. Take us to space.
Space.
So for context for Glenn, I've been going to different Comic Cons for a while. Actually, who introduced me to him,
This guy.
because I never went to, was Nico, and he was good for about maybe
3.
3 years, and then he just dropped off the face of the earth and didn't no more. So the person who stepped up to it was my wife, saying, "Hey, let's go to Comic Con," which shocked the heck out of me because I'm like, you're not into the stuff I'm into, all the video games and everything else, but she wanted to go, so I appreciate that. That's what we do now. Since I think out of 5 kids, I think, because when we met Glenn, I think I only had 4.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
because
you only had 4
Sebastian
kids.
was born in 2014. So yeah, so 2 kids are out of the house. I only got 3 kids left, but so yeah, GalaxyCon was actually pretty good. I think it was better, the layout and how they ran it. It was better than AwesomeCon.
Nice, because you were giving
Um,
AwesomeCon quite some praise.
Oh yeah, because compared to Baltimore Con, Fairfax Con,
The
a
dullest
couple other ones I can't
comic book
remember.
expo that comes out every once in a while.
Yeah, this I think for GalaxyCon, the way they ran it, the only 2 cons I have is one. If you're going to GalaxyCon, for anybody listening, this one was in Richmond, so I can't say how it is I think it's North Carolina to go to. If you didn't purchase your tickets beforehand, you could not go to the Saturday show. If you showed up, they denied you, which was astonishing. And if you were trying to buy any resale tickets, like I told a sergeant that would work with us, I was like, "Hey, good luck," because I think he saw like $200 was for just one ticket, and now we bought ours. I think for maybe for a 2-day pass, I think I spent close to $100 after the processing fees.
Mm.
So again, if you're buying just 1-day ticket for $200, I mean you're paying double than what I did for a 2-day pass.
Oof.
The other thing was, and I was surprised. Usually with Baltimore Con, we'll be in line by 9 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Decent amount of line, but not that much. Awesome Con was a decent amount of line, but it was great to go inside. GalaxyCon, we got there at 8:30.
Mhm.
Doors didn't open up till about 8:30, 8:40 to get tickets. For Nico, for you to kind of figure out the size. I mean, basically, if one side of the building is 50 yards,
Mm-hmm.
imagine that wrapping around like 3 or 4 times.
Ooh.
And this is at 8:30. This is 8:30, and people are still walking up. Like, where we got in line with my 2 of my kids and my friend and his family, we were on the end of the building.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was still, and then now it started wrapping up. By the time I got to the door to get inside the building, it wrapped about four times. I think they had to get the fire department too, because a couple of cosplayers were passing out.
Oh my god.
So what I found out about that is get your badges. So in this case, since a friend of mine lives in Richmond, next time we go, he's like, yeah, just let me know. I'll get the badges. That way you don't have to wait in line for registration. You just have to go to a re-entry line, which they got to go in earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Which again speaks to GalaxyCon. On the pros on that one was, instead of a line like you would have in Baltimore Con and Awesome Con, They just said, "Hey, what is it? Exhibit A, B, C, D, whatever. That's like this long hallway." And at 10 o'clock, they open the doors,
Okay.
so you don't have everybody clamoring
No, you
in
actually
one
have it
entrance.
separated out.
Yes. So and you can leave, you can enter that way, and you can leave that way. So again, you don't have to clutter trying to exit out. Um, so for a lot of the stuff, it was really great. Some of the stuff kind of surprised me. I saw, not to say there's nothing wrong with it. I saw a couple of hentai stuff that I didn't expect.
Fair.
There was like a mouse pad with some ass cheeks.
Oh, I've seen those.
So for context, I did have my youngest son. He's 9. So we were going, like, usually how I always do is I do a recon first. I walk the vendors. I get a sense of, okay, this is what they have. This is what they have. I'm looking for pops, or I'm looking for something for my wife or my kids, whatever. And we end up on this one side, and it sounds kind of funny, like if you were in a city and you see how it's like nice and clean, and then when it starts getting a little
Then you cross the tracks into West Springfield.
yeah, a little downgraded. Everything doesn't look so fresh. So that's how it was. Is that we passed the Roseanne couch, a couple of posters, and then next I'm like, hold on, some of these drawings are a bit tantalizing. They got the big mouse pads, they got the posters, and then I went by and Sebastian just went off to the right, and I so happened to look, and again you see some characters, and all they have is just like little covering sticky notes that covers this. And then I was like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Are you doing what I think you're doing? You looking at that?" I think it made some of the vendors laugh. I was like, "I see you looking over there. You want to touch that pad, or whatever?" Because again, he had a mouse pad.
No, it's to rest your wrist. It's so you don't get the carpal tunnel.
Right between the cheeks.
Carpal tunnel is a very serious affliction.
Yeah.
It helps with the carpal tunnel. So, that was pretty. I guess that was like an experience where I didn't picture that. Like, okay, that's something I never seen at Baltimore Con or something. But
I mean, he's
course,
9 years old, man. So I mean, that's whenever the first glimmers begin to appear, it's an inevitability.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially if you see cosplayers falling out. I mean, it's
what he's neglecting to mention is that he already bought the mouse pad for the kid for his birthday.
Hell no! Oh man, that would have been a discussion and possibly the strongest.
Is it the front facing or the back facing Samus Aran?
Yeah, it'd be the strongest hit from the smallest.
Porque no los dos.
But yeah, it was great. I was kind of impressed because the army was there, the recruitment was there. So they had a big. So that's where you get the Metal Gear. Somebody was dressed as Snake, and it's just timing was perfect that he came by. I was like, let me get a picture with whatever this newest vehicle they're trying to recruit people with. Because Sebastian was like, "Did you drive that?" I was like, "No, we didn't have that crap." And I was kind of loud with it. I said, "We had a Humvee with some armor that they just welded to it. Like, what are you talking about?" And then, of course, on the other side, the Marines had their station, so they wanted everybody to do pull-ups and stuff like that. And then I saw the Navy's recruitment station. It was just like 2 tables, like in a booth.
Hey,
that was pretty much it. Like the Marines had this big blow-up drill instructor looking bear looking thing. It was like this. Again, the Army had
bear,
like,
huh? All right.
Yeah. Navy, 2 tables. That was it. And it looked like they didn't want to be there. Like, why are we here? Air Force, they're like, we already got the nerds. You always
Space Force.
No, I haven't. I've seen them on base. I just haven't seen them at none of these recruitment stations.
I work with Space Force guys. I'm just gonna say they're like the upgraded version, like basically the Air Force guys, but with like that much more like machismo to them. Best way I can put it. Like it's like, oh, you're Air Force. You want to aim high? I work out in space. They called me a guardian. Guess what I'm guarding? Space.
I'm sure that would go over a lot better if they didn't have their coloring books on hand with them while they were trying to get that vibrato going.
I'm just saying. I mean, like, like a space coloring book. I mean, just like it just comes like a black crayon. Just like.
I mean, I just assumed, like, if I'm applying for Space Force, that they're just going to give me a coloring book and some crayons, and as long as I keep it within the lines, that I've passed the test.
I will tell you, they are quite selective with the people that they choose for the Space Force, because it's actually like this huge thing where like the Air Force is losing talent because all the Space Force guys are jumping, or all the Air Force guys are jumping shape for the Space Force. It's kind of nutty, actually. Um, but I mean, then again, like whenever I was in the Army, I did satellite communications, right? But had Space Force been an option, like I totally would have gone Space Force. Like as much as I love the Army, I love the Army, but space, you
I
know.
mean, I'd rather be Buzz Lightyear too, but let's not pretend like they do anything yet.
Not that we
Hey,
know of,
they
right?
Yeah, not
they
that we
track
know.
the space shuttle.
Haven't you noticed
They
the
track the
moon's
space
getting
shuttle.
like the face on the moon looks different now, right?
Mm-mm.
They would have established a base on the dark side of the moon by now. I mean, honestly, nobody. They have basically an entire like half of a planetoid of just open territory. You know,
I,
it's how often do you look up at the moon and see, you know, if there's little teeny tiny specks going to and from there? Just saying.
we already had a documentary showing like the bases and all the life up there. It was hosted by what's his face, Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, I don't know why I
Don't
was
say
going with
his
Joe Rogan.
name. You might summon him.
Do it.
Yeah, that motherfucker still owes
Yes.
me a lighter.
Do it.
That asshole.
There he was standing on all
Shia
fours.
LaBeouf owes you a lighter?
I never told that story. Oh
Shia
shit!
LaBeouf.
I've never heard it.
Okay, so when I used to live in Vancouver, British Columbia, there was a bar that I used to frequent called the Moose Head. I was there one of the nights.
Fucking
when,
Canadian.
Yeah, I know, right? But so they were doing they were
Canada,
filming
our
Transformers.
home
I think it was
and
2.
land.
It was Revenge of the Fallen. I think they were filming there. So I wasn't aware of this, but I'm inside the bar. I'm getting smashed. I go outside, light a cigarette. All of a sudden, this drunken fucking bum walks up to me, like all scraggly and shit. He's like, "Hey man, can I have a bum a cigarette?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, here you go." I passed him a cigarette. He's like, "Oh, thanks. Can I use your lighter?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, here." And I'm looking at his face. I'm like, "Man, this guy looks fucking familiar." And he's like, and he just fucks off. And it's like, "Oh, that's weird. I swear that was is that Shia LaBeouf?" So I walk back, I smoke, toss it, pull out another one, go to find my lighter. I was like, oh, where the fuck's my lighter? So I look back. I was like, "Hey, hey!" So I start walking up to this guy, kind of stomping over. He's like, "You owe me a light. Where's my lighter?" And his buddy, like, full palm stops me in the chest, like, "Yo, man, whoa, hold up, my buddy. He's just a little drunk right now. Let's just leave him alone." I was like, "No. He took my lighter. I need it back." He's like, "No, just cool it." I was like, "Yeah, okay, whatever." And I'm looking at the guy. I'm like, "Is that?" And then he just looked at me like he got a little big eyed. And he's like, "No." I was like, "Okay." So I walk back, bum my friend's lighter, and say, "Fucking Shia LaBeouf just stole a lighter from me." And sure as shit, he got I think he got busted by the RCPD that night for I think public intoxication.
So I have a very similar story that involves Jason Mewes, but it adds a little happier tone to it. So I was at the Comic Palooza over in Houston, and Jason Mewes was there as a guest, and I went outside to go smoking with a couple of my friends, cigarettes, and Jason Mewes was out there, and I found out that I had left my cigarettes in my jacket up in the room, and there's this guy, you know, with long blonde hair and a backwards cap, and I'm like, "Hey man, can I get a cigarette from you?" And sure as shit, Jason Mewes gave me a cigarette and smoked it, and I smoked one of Jason Mewes' cigarette. It was great because I was sitting there telling him a story as I'm inclined to do, as I'm sure you'll have captured by now. That I told him about this sunrise that I saw over in Florence on a storied trip with my brother and I, which is again a story for another time. It has some pretty fun ones. To include a fist fight in a teeny tiny tent after my brother did some Jackie Chan moves.
Sounds like every night we're together normally, Hunter.
Yeah,
Yeah, basically.
it's a brother thing. He's like 2 inches shorter than me, and I hold that over him every fucking day. But yeah, I told Jason Mewes about this sunset that I saw over in Florence while we were driving up this hill, and I told him I was like, "Beautiful sunset I've ever seen in my entire life." And Jason Mewes was like, And for that moment, he was mine. He was mine and mine alone. Everything right here. It's
Are you
me.
sure he didn't just think he was talking to Kevin?
So
Oh.
after the story, this is really kind of funny how that happened, because after he heard that story, he was like, "Man, you're a really good storyteller. You tell stories. Like he just said his name. Oh my god.
Kevin.
Yeah. He says you tell stories just like Kevin does. I'm like, I had this little tear. I was like, thank you. Yeah. It was like the greatest compliment anybody's ever paid me in my entire life. Lord, it's kind of funny actually. This fell off the shelf, by the way. I wanted to show you. This is a dragon that my daughter made for me. It's a little dragon puppet.
Oh, that's cool.
She has like 500 of these inside of her room. She's positively obsessed with. Apparently, there's like an entire community of YouTubers that make dragon puppets.
That's a thing.
That is a thing. Yes, they make dragon puppets that look like this, amongst other things. And like, I'm kind of worried because I mean she's 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Right back at you, dude. And I'm thinking to myself, like these are the sort of people that are like into like scalies and bullshit like that. And I'm like, do I encourage her artful nature and provide her materials to continue making these absolutely beautiful dragons, or do I shy her away so that she doesn't find out what furry is? I'm just saying.
Too late.
If you
You're at GalaxyCon.
determine that you don't want her to go down that path, you can always introduce her to My Little Pony instead.
And end up with another Nico? Fuck no.
Oh no.
That's a low blow, dude.
So that segues back to GalaxyCon. Furries.
Yeah, a lot of them.
A couple of them. One sat at our table,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a young kid with his parents that look had to be in their 60s. I know they were older. They're way older than me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was funny because Sebastian was like, I was sitting by with my best friend, and then waiting on his wife and his kids. And next, Sebastian goes, "Hey, Dad, what? There's a furry," and the kid doesn't want to look in my direction, maybe because he sees this like, oh, this is a scruffy, mean-looking guy. And I'm like, yeah, I know, I already knew what a furry was, and I'm like, whatever. And he's like, because at first I thought it was like some type of mascot, Fortnite thing, and he's like, no, it's a furry. I'm like, how the heck do you know what a furry is? Or,
yeah, right.
That was going to be my next question. Be like, what the fuck do you think they're for furry?
Yeah. All I can say for those is just same thing is when they see the content, the content, just see what they say, observe what really listen to your kids and what they say, because then you can pick up on what it is, and then you can kind of steer them on that one. Because just like with the artist thing, I don't know if I shared the story before. I remember I used to draw Simpsons, and my mom was mad because in our household, you don't watch the Simpsons, whatever. But I remember she waking up my dad from his after military nap, and he was like, "You drew this?" And I thought I was gonna get in trouble. He's like, "Oh, okay, cool." And to me, I took it as, he's not going out there, he's not doing stupid crap, whatever. He's drawing. Let him be, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
At least he has a talent for drawing, and that's it. So I always appreciate that of my father. But going back to GalaxyCon again, vendors was great. I bought something to be part of the family.
Nice. Oh yeah. Oh, and it's purple too. My man's got the purple saber.
Now this sucker cost me $100. It was a mystery box.
Oh,
I bought it on Sunday. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out the control because it can do all types of sound effects. It could play Star Wars. I think 2 songs.
Nice.
It plays on here, and it has it to where it could be blasters. Or does that like that too?
You guys might be twinsies.
Hold on, let me see. Do you have the same handle?
No, his handle has the spiky, has like a club on it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
What is this? Uh-oh.
It is not, in fact, a club. It is actually a belt clip
Ah.
that you can attach.
Nice.
Nice.
And of course, Sorry, I got mine. Hold on, let me turn off the light.
I wish my batteries worked now.
Oh, speaking of that, that's great because this is
What about
actually
yours?
this is a USB charge. So all I got to do is unscrew this,
Orange.
charge it right to
Nice.
your USB, and then it charges up. I think within half hour. It even tells you, hey, you're charging.
Oh, dude, that's dope.
For mine, it is orange for the Signal Corps, which I am very proud to be a member of.
Nice.
Flag and torch.
Mine's purple because I like purple.
Oh, see, look.
Oh, you can change. Nice.
He got the rainbow saber. What's up?
Hey. It's like my moon ring. You know those mood rings. Like when you get
Ooh,
I don't
that
know what
is
green
nice.
means, but
I like the pulsing too.
Jedi Guardian.
don't tell me how to do it. Like again, it's all about holding the switch and how it is. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. But
But
yeah, this.
me, my oldest one got one. What else? So let's talk about celebrities.
Oh yes, let's.
So first thing, doing too much. Stop it. There we go. So photo ops. I in particular will not pay for one no more.
Fair.
Reasoning being is this, and this is not against the celeb. So the way GalaxyCon did it was you had a 15-minute announcement.
Mhm.
They didn't want you to line up or whatever. They'll just say like William Shatner. If you got a picture of William Shatner in 15 minutes, make your way to the photo op. Who's VIP? All this other mess. And then they had lanes. Best way I can describe it was a mixture of, have you ever seen cattle? Like I watched this show called Hoof GP on YouTube.
Mhm.
Don't judge me.
Hey man, I usually I'll
Nope.
go down a rabbit
Those
hole
hoof
where they're
videos are actually
turning,
really kick-ass.
those, hooves. So I know
Yeah,
that.
I love those things.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
really
it's like
scratches
it's
the
weird.
itch.
It went from Dr. Popple, Dr. Pipple Popper,
Yep.
and then it went to Hoof GP, and I'm stuck. I'm stuck with him on like from his voice, from his stuff. It's like it's great, but so yeah, have you ever seen the cattle as they corral them to get the hoof shaved and all that stuff? That's how it felt like, and then so I had this notion that it was gonna be like my John Leguizamo experience, where me and my wife are gonna have a couple of seconds, maybe a minute, to say, "Hey, how you doing?" Really greet yourself. Hey, I really, do the whole, "I really love your work" and everything. Again, Orlando Jones was my best. One of the best meetups we had in AwesomeCon. Granted, his line in the beginning was kind of small, so he had more time to talk to people. So when I met Giancarlo Esposito, you guys have seen him in a numerous guy from Breaking Bad and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when I met him, it was like real quick. Like they rush you through this curtain, you see him, and it's like, okay, put your stuff here. All right, go ahead, go there. And by the time he put his arm around me, and I always ask anybody I take a picture with, like, do you mind me putting my hand like this? Because it feels, I'm a big dude, so it feels weird.
Yeah.
Just having my arm like this. It was like real quick before I know it, like, all right, we're take the picture. Took the picture, and then I was like, all right, and then he usher you off.
Ooh.
Like it was like less than maybe 10, 15 seconds. He just said, "Hey, how you doing?" Didn't shake his hand, anything. Cool guy, nice and cool. That was it. And I was kind of disappointed because I paid like $94. Mind you, every time we do these cons, there's always a budget.
Yeah.
The reason why I said it was a disappointment because I didn't know, I didn't know how many celebrities you're gonna have here that didn't have hardly no lines. Like, okay, so we've been talking about wrestling, right? I saw Trish Stratus.
Oh.
Still looks good for her age.
Oh yeah,
right?
she does.
Lita was there.
Yeah.
And
she's
then
making her way back to the Fed apparently. Like she's gonna be doing a tag team match with Trish Stratus. Yeah, I just read about it.
And that's probably why they were there for promo.
Yep.
And then when you go, then it was Matt Hardy. Matt Hardy was there.
Nice.
Ole Anderson. I'm probably saying his name wrong.
Oh,
he was there.
Really?
Lex Luger was there.
What?
Remember the picture I showed you guys in the last podcast?
Yeah.
When I was like, Lex Luger still looks like he was there. Like they had a bunch of over. Then the junk that got me pissed off at myself was my wife goes, "Hey, did you know Ric Flair was there?"
Fuck off.
I was like, if Ric Flair was there, I would have not got no picture. No offense to Expedito. I was like, that would be the person I'm going to, Ric Flair.
Okay,
And
hold on.
yeah, he was there. A couple of people posted it.
Pause. All right, so
Go ahead.
fun fact I just learned. Did you know that Ted DiBiase was originally not supposed to be the $1 Million Man? So the only reason he got the $1 Million Man was because in the 80s they were so big on gimmicks that he was green behind the ear and they needed to get him in something. So they made him the $1 Million Man. Imagine, however, if Ric Flair was the $1 Million Man. That would have been one of the best heat-generating villains that WWF would have had from in the 80s to 90s.
I mean, it'd be an awesome variant, but I don't know if it'll work as well.
Because like DiBiase was great on the mic, but he's no Ric Flair. Because when Ric Flair came on the mic and was talking, he was like, you believed what he was saying. I think he would have been a great $1 Million Man. And that fits with his Nature Boy character too. So I'm like, it would have been so good.
So again, they had a bunch. Again, they had like 3 people from One Piece, the live action movie.
Nice.
Yeah, them there. A bunch of voice actors. Now another con to the con is that unlike Awesome Con, where your lines are straight, for the most part, the way Galaxy Con did it is like, hey, look, we're gonna pack this place up with celebrities, from voice actors or whatever, and basically we're only gonna go maybe 50 feet, and you'll just do like an S, and then there'll be a small space for people to come by, and then that'll be the next section for whoever across from them will be another celebrity or whatever. Chris Claremont was there. Jim Shooter was there. Again, it was one of those things where I kind of kicked myself. I was focused on one celeb, and didn't realize you had other celebs that were going to be there that would have shorter lines. And again, the more bang for your buck, far as talking and everything. I mean, I found out that Esposito had a booth, but didn't know he had a booth for a selfie or whatever, and didn't know his times or whatever. So I was more focused on the photo op on that part. But lesson learned is, I'm not doing professional photo ops. If they don't have a booth and I can't get a selfie or autograph, that little bit of intimate of, hey, just me to say, hey, I appreciate your work and everything. It's good. Again, like John Leguizamo, like Orlando Jones, like Michael Rosenbaum, Tom Welling, who I've met.
I've heard some things about Lou Ferrigno being a really bad celeb for that too.
Who?
Lou Ferrigno. I don't know if he's still alive. Even come to think of it,
I think so.
I think so. Yeah,
he's still alive.
Yeah, Lou Ferrigno. Apparently, like his prices were too high, but the people that wanted to get it got it. But he was like an asshole the entire time.
Yeah, I always heard the opposite, that he was really good at cons.
Maybe that was just a bad con.
I think this was the same con that, oh Lord, the Greek guy, where the Sons of Anarchy had beat up the George Commits. George Commits was a con organizer who actually I've been to his house and played D&D. He's a spectacular GM, by the way, but he kind of flubbed it whenever it came down to this convention because money wise, the people from the Sons of Anarchy didn't get paid, and so they weren't going to go on until they got what they wanted. And he was like, "Oh, we'll pay you after the con." And it's like they're like, "Fuck no!" And then they went into his office and quite literally shook the guy down for their cash, like straight up, like went in there and
into character.
It got really into character. Closed the door. It was like, "Hey, look, asshole," and shook this motherfucker down. George is a very soft spoken, very nice human being, and I, from at least from my interactions with him, and from what I understand, that basically they took their money, did an appearance, and then got the fuck out after that interaction with Mr. Commits. And that's something else. Cons are nutty whenever it comes to that sort of thing. There's always some sort of story with that.
You got some items there. What's going on, bro?
Yes. So let's see. Again, like I said, I collect pops. So some of the goodies I got was, I don't know if you guys can see it, was this one Pennywise with the skateboard. So if you watch chapter 2 of it, where he goes to the fun house and kills the kid, or she kills the kid. You all don't know that one. Deadpool was another variant.
Spoilers? No.
Was another variant, and I also found this one cool looking BB9E. And the only reason why, because it looks all silver and gold.
Nice, nice.
One thing I did since I feel like this is a filler episode, but I'm okay with it.
Well, I'm here, so I mean, yeah.
Was I did buy a book from one of the what you call it, local vendors out there, the creators. He had the graphic novel, but I was like, you know what, I like his artwork, and I haven't bought a book in a while because most of my stuff is still in totes since we moved. But this one's called, I believe it's called Ancient Illumination. So essentially, it's about don't kill me, the author, if you watch this video. His name is Rob Van Blake. But essentially, during the days of Cro-Magnon, some beings come from space. They come down there. One of their own does something to the humans because they felt that they weren't evolved enough, and basically they leave him there. They leave the Earth. They leave him there to where he can't leave, and then slowly but surely, stuff starts happening to the humans and stuff like that. Not the way they intended. So this is book one of I think I saw three. Yeah, 3 books. Again, guy's name is Rod. I said Rob. It's Rod Van Blake, and him and his wife, very, very welcome. Big freaking dude too. When he stood up, he was like, "Yoop." I was like, "Dang, you're a tall dude." But yeah, him and his
together
wife,
strong.
very lovely, very enthusiastic. He actually, and that's another reason why. Where'd he go? Another reason why I like going to the cons and supporting some creators. They actually autograph it. I thought it was the coolest thing. I don't know if you guys can't barely see it, but he signed it.
Nice.
Everything. So didn't ask for no extra stuff, but that's one thing I like to do sometimes is go to cons and support a creator. The only problem is that sometimes I feel bad because when you buy one from one, the other vendors look at you like come over here, and I'm like man, I got a small budget. I don't have a large budget. If I could buy everything from you guys, it's cool. Because I mean, I feel them. Some of the vendors, when they look at you, they just want to look like, please come over here, look at my stuff. On that one. What we got? So blind.
Fight Club.
Ah.
Oh,
Fight
wow,
Club.
okay.
First edition copy,
Ooh,
and
nice.
it is signed
You say
by Monsieur Chuck Palahniuk.
Nice.
That's cool.
It says, "You are not your job," and he pointed to it. That's the point, because whenever I met him, I had the book signed, and I was sitting there talking about my job, and you know how all these crazy things about my job, and I loved his book, and he was like, looking at me like, "You don't fucking get it, dude." Like, and then we put that in there. I was like, "Oh yeah." It's kind of funny. So, whenever you say signed books, I have an entire shelf of memories and things that I love right here. As you can see by my Godzilla and my Evangelion over here, and then this bag that's signed by Cameron Liu of Ginger Root, which is an awesome band, by the way. If you don't know it, and yeah, it's all sorts of fun stuff up there.
This is just becoming a merch off, and I'm digging it.
Well, no, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
I don't know if y'all can see this.
What's this?
This is a photo that I took
With Gus.
Oh, nice.
oh man, you look so. I know.
He's got that look like, man. He's got the disappointed dad look down to a T. Like, if you ever, it's the divorced dad mugshot.
Even Danielle was like, why does he have he looks disappointed at you? He could be your even it went from a dad to he's your uncle that shows up to the quinceañeras or the parties, but then he just looks like he's like, this what you wore? This what you had?
Quinceañeras, man. Let me tell you, that's a whole nother thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. I think I've been to more quinceañeras than I have sweet 16s. Yeah, I'm a stealth Mexican too.
He's an international man. International Man of Mystery.
So you going to another con next weekend too?
No, my financial advisor told me that we have to halt that, and the next one I'll probably go to will be in August. And that might be Fairfax, or it might be one called AutoCon. And AutoCon, I think,
Oh, is that
ranks
the Transformers
number
one?
6. I believe so. It's like
Because
Sergeant was
we
telling me.
had TF Con one year, and I really wanted to go. It was right when Leon was in the height of his Transformers phase, and I'm not gonna lie, I was too. But yeah, no, we were down in Reston when TF Con was going on, and we just didn't have time to go because like it had already gotten really late. My wife was tired, the kid was tired. But it was pretty cool seeing all the cosplayers because like Leon freaked out when he saw some of the Transformers.
And rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we have the Oklahoma City Comic Con is in August, and so far, like the dude who played Biff in Back to the Future is confirmed for it.
He's actually a really good singer, from what I hear.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The one who played Aisha in like season 2 of the Power Rangers.
Oh yeah.
Pretty sure she's confirmed for it.
Okay.
And then like Greg Cummins and a couple other voice actors, but so far that's about it. So like I'm waiting for an email with like some bigger announcements to see if it'll be worth going. But yeah, they also I checked, and because I haven't been the last couple of years, they implemented the photo op and autograph payments and everything else on their website. So that looks like it's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
That makes, as soon as I saw, like, maybe I don't want to go.
Yeah, cons aren't the same after COVID, man.
Which is something that was you said that point about William Shatner. I think some people were disappointed because one, I didn't know he was that old. He's 93 years old. And then if you were going to take a picture with him, I guess a couple of folks didn't know they were going to have a plexiglass between you and him.
Oh wow.
But it was thin enough. They said it was thin enough to where you couldn't see on the photo, but that was the way to protect him because he was 93 years old on that part.
That makes sense.
My wife's friend Nathan Estrada, he is a mover and shaker in most places. Former, I don't know if he still does drag or not. Goes by the stage name Ursula Valor. But he was actually the handler for Shatner at a comic book convention over in Houston. And according to him, like Shatner's kind of a bit of a diva, but I mean, mind you, like he's earned it. I mean, he's William fucking Shatner.
It is kind of funny though. A drag queen's like, calling William Shatner a diva.
It's the nature of the beast, I guess. But yeah, it was one of those things. Like I think at one point, like he was like, I need to go outside and get some sunshine. And he went outside and he went running, quite literally gallivanting through this field, like galloping, like William Shatner only can. And then all the handlers were like, oh shit, he's running off. We need to help him. Like. So,
somebody get his leash. Who took him off his leash?
Right? No kidding. And because I mean that's what Nathan's job was, to make sure old Bill Shatner didn't have any issues. If he needed water, he got water. If he needed to change out his colostomy bag, he was willing to do it. But no, he doesn't have a colostomy bag as far as I know. But no, but I mean it was that hands-on apparently, from what I've been told. But yeah, it's something else. It was, yeah. Heard some crazy stories about him.
The last thing I would say, and then again, we don't have to go into depths of it if you want to, but something I was laughing with my best friend about was so we know each other since high school. I went off to the military, he went off to college. The funny thing was his reaction. Because there were some cosplayers, right? So, for context, when I was at Awesome Con, because my wife kind of pointed out, but I was being cautious, like I don't want to agree with her, because she was like, "There's a couple of these girls, like their butts are hanging out," and I'm like, "Ooh, that's a trick question." Because if I say yes, you're gonna be like,
"What's a butt?
Why are you looking?" Yeah. But there was a guy that was dressed as, I think, I don't know if I posted it before. If I did, I'll post it. Where there was a guy again. Since we're mentioning, so I think he had to be like 6'5". This is a real buff dude, but no shirt. He was his version of Link with a little ass tiny shield or whatever. Like, so she meant. So again, when we went to GalaxyCon,
Link more like Twink. No, just
yeah.
kidding. No.
Like, if I can find the picture, I'll put it in the general chat. But one thing that it made me laugh, and just to see what your guys' opinions on is when it comes to cosplay, how far is too far? Because one thing I discussed with him and I discussed with Danielle is like a lot of the cosplays now, especially their female characters, they, regardless if people want to believe it or not, they are drawn for a single purpose in my mind.
Mm.
Is to attract those guys, like attract nerdy or even just young guys in general. That's the whole lure of it. If you go to Marvel, DC, every superhero, especially for the females, everybody's cut. They all have muscles. Hell,
Spider Woman.
I saw one version of Power Girl, and Power Girl makes me laugh because she got the big chest or whatever. And so when you see cosplayers like that, it's like that. So that was the one thing my best friend was joking. He's like, man, if I was 16, I'd be looking at all this stuff. He's like, but now that he's in his 40s, his young 40s like me, he's like, I don't know about this because it kind of looks weird, and some of these girls look too young to be dressing like this. And I was like, dude, welcome to adulthood. I said, that's how it is. Because some of them, yeah, I can understand. If you see a Poison Ivy, which I did see one at GalaxyCon, she's dressed mostly like a bathing suit now on there. But there were some where like it's kind of teetering off. Is this more for the cosplay and the freedom of it, or was it more or less of possibly you get attention or something? Because if you're caked up and caked out, if nobody knows what that is, that's where your junk is out.
Oh yeah.
Even for us innocent men, we're going to give it a glance. If you walk by,
Which of
it's
us is innocent?
It's like if I'm just here walking, I'm like do 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 do, and then boom, you walk by, I'm like what the hell is that? Like then I gotta be like, oh man, my son's here. Hey, I don't want him to go back and tell my wife, but yeah, if it's like that, like, do you feel like with cosplay, is there a line? Even for again, for the man who came with, again, if I show you the picture, all he had was like shorts, a small shield, and then he was just his titties and everything was out. Like he was cut. Like, is there a line too far for this one? Like, is it?
I have
I
some
don't see
opinions on
genitalia,
this.
it's probably fine.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar, if not for the fact that I mean, there's a lot of artistic expression involved in making these costumes and making them alluring. Two reasons why I think it's okay. One, if my son sees it, I'm gonna have grandkids, so I'm okay with that. Nothing wrong with inspiring the youth. But two, second thing is the concept of even in our Arthurian tales of like the Lady in the Water or Princess Guinevere and so on and so forth. These were these beauties that inspired men to greatness, and as I guess a social goal to push people towards the great things in life, the peak of human beauty and of strength and flexibility and cakedom. These are the sort of things that I think should be praised. Absolutely. If you it like Ula said in The Producers, if you got it, flaunt it. It's whenever you run into the ones. I mean, I guess as long as they aren't being crude, right? Like as long as this giant tittied power girl isn't taking my son and shoving his face into her chest, I think it's the behavior that changes it. If you're being lewd or lascivious in front of other people, then that's bad.
Yeah,
But
only for.
if you're uh well built and showing it off in an artistic way, I don't think it's bad.
So I'm gonna sum this up in a couple lyrics by a true poet of our time, Sir DJ Mix-a-Lot. I like big butts, and I cannot lie. I like big butts, and I can't deny.
Did you call him DJ?
Yeah.
Big shit.
Oh my
He's an
god.
MC,
Verb.
and you're an asshole for knowing otherwise.
Bingo. I knew I'd get us canceled somehow today.
You're racist, bro.
You heard it here, folks. Breaking news.
Wait,
So
when did it begin? Jesus Christ.
yeah, I pretty much have the same opinions. I don't really care what people choose to wear, whether it's at Comic-Con or just walking into Walmart. It's at the end of the day, it's your expression. It's how you want to be viewed in the world. And yeah, so long as there's like not trying to force anything on me or kind of like what you said of just inappropriate actions, then cool. I don't particularly care. As long as you're in your space, I'm my space, everybody can do and wear whatever they want.
Okay, so this guy that you posted up in the link outfit, he is goofy as fuck. Look at like it's like I don't know if he's just he smiles weird, but I don't know, man. Like I wouldn't feel threatened by that. Like it's like, have you ever seen that that episode or not episode, the music video from Aphex Twin, where they have like all the chicks like shaking their booties in slow motion, and then like there's that one that has Richard D. James's face like pasted on her, and then they all do. I feel like it's kind of like
familiar.
This guy looks like he has like Richard D. James' face on like a very well built man. I'm just saying. And I almost feel like these two guys' outfits could be switched, and it might do better, in my opinion. Because Link is kind of sub. You know what I mean?
No, hold on. Hugh Jackman cross. Shit. I got his face. I can't remember the name. Nah, never mind. He looks a little Hugh Jackman-y though. And he is a huge jacked man.
Not sure where you see Hugh Jackman out of that. All right.
It's like the eyes.
But speaking of huge Jackman, did you guys see that there is a rumor out there that Henry Cavill is going to be in Deadpool and Wolverine, and he is going to be playing a variant of Wolverine from another universe?
Oh, still my
That
heart.
would be cool.
That man is a gem, and we need to duplicate him for science. If I had to pick a guy,
Dude,
apart from Nico,
I swear to God, he got into. Thank you. I swear to God, if he got it, my theory is he got into acting just so he could pay to play Warhammer 40K. Because he's a huge 40K nerd, and he plays Custodes, which at the time were the most expensive army in the game. Forge World prices ain't cheap, man. Sometimes you gotta reach deep down.
I mean, it would be great if it's him. I mean, hell, it would be even funnier if it's true about the guy who plays Harry Potter. I forgot his name.
Oh,
Daniel
yeah,
Radcliffe.
Daniel
Talked about
Radcliffe.
it.
I so want Radcliffe for Wolverine.
That would be funny if that was who came up with stabbed
Okay.
Deadpool when he was laying down.
I have the Wolverine to beat all
Oh
Wolverines.
shit! Let's hear it. If you don't say Danny
Mr.
DeVito, you can leave.
No, it's not Danny DeVito. It's Jared Kesso.
Ew, what the hell is that?
Jared Kesso, who is the actor who plays Wayne on Letterkenny.
Oh,
And he is also Shorzy in Shorzy. But that guy is such a fine actor, and he's Canadian. I dare say he would make a fucking spectacular Wolverine. Not to mention the dude's jacked. So he could.
I agree with that. They would never cast
Yeah.
him, but I agree with that.
But
I
also,
think-
I'm concerned. What are the masks that you just posted?
That is the
Yeah,
Richard D. James. That is Richard D. James's face. So I was saying that Link kind of has the Richard D. James face a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. just a little
Yeah, I
bit.
I
see that.
apologize for my reaction. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, what the hell is that?
I mean,
Hold
it's
on.
cool. He went Leatherface in the chat with no explanation. It was acceptable.
Hold on. Let's see. Aphex Twin. What is the name of that music video?
So
Come to
well,
daddy.
well,
Window liquor. Yes. Window liquor. Okay. So I will post this.
Thank you.
Because this is like, so the intention was originally for the artist was to make fun of famous rapper videos back in the 90s. And the uh there is it's homework. I'm just gonna say that it's homework.
Gotcha.
I will warn you ahead of time. It is shocking in several different ways. Especially the scene on the thumbnail because of what happens when she turns around.
Oh,
God, that sounds like an entire like series of like fail videos. What happens when she turns around? Like, sorry, I don't mean to be too familiar on the first one here. No, but no. Okay. I don't want to be like, man, that motherfucker was kind of a creep. Let's not invite this asshole back.
No, we keep
It's
Hunter in
too
every
late.
week.
You're part of the whole gay Tony thing, so I mean, all the weirdness came out then.
That was the best little like one-shot intro to a game that no one will ever properly remember.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I was a couple of fingers of whiskey in at that time.
I think we all were.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Yeah.
the good old days.
The Ballad of Gay Tony. Oh.
So anything else from GalaxyCon?
No. Other than, I guess the little bit of wisdom I could say is that if you're into buying stuff, go on Sundays. Go on the last part, maybe the last hours. I mean, the lightsaber I got was a mystery box. It was priced at $200 because they were ranging, and it was one of those things where they're like one of the guys were like, "Yeah, go ahead and sell it to him." I mean, what are you gonna do with them? He had like 13 left, and it was me and my son who wanted one. So definitely, if you're trying to buy, I'm not saying all vendors would buckle, but some of them are willing to.
They're at least
negotiate.
willing to haggle when they're like, man, I don't want to take.
Especially if you have cash. Especially if you have cash. That's another thing that I forgot to mention with GalaxyCon. No Wi-Fi, and even if you had reception, it sucked, and their system will go down from time to time. Even some of the vendors were having a problem with it. So Sunday, towards the end, maybe around 12, starting like that, and have cash. You might be able to come back, get out of there with a deal, depending on what you're trying to get.
Right, but I mean, if it's a exclusive item, I mean, you run the risk of somebody else snatching it up, of course. Yeah. But that's the game you play, right? I know that whenever it comes, like, it's not so much that they're trying to make a sale, but that they don't want to have to like ship it back because all the shit that they brought with them, they're gonna have to take it with them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yep. So that's totally a truth fact.
Yeah. But that, as far as cons, that's it. Again, well, I'm gonna do my research on AutoCon since I think this the guy who told me about it, the sergeant, I think is the number 6 con out there for anime.
Okay.
So that would be probably more my kid speed. I mean, so I kind of fell off with anime.
Yeah.
On certain things. But yeah, it'd be that, or if not, the next one would probably be Baltimore Con coming up in September. So if anybody's watching, hey,
who knows?
Maybe
I'll actually go this time. It's a mystery.
Don't play with my emotions. Don't play with my emotions. Because now I got a van, so it's like, hey,
okay.
Who needs to go?
Let me.
So y'all
be ready.
Let me talk to the warden. I'll see if I can get pardoned for the weekend.
Man, well, hey,
I'll tell you what. If it comes down to it, just tell them like use me as an excuse and be like, "Oh yeah, sorry, I couldn't go." Be like, "Glenn's gonna be there."
I mean, the only thing I can think of is we might have to bring our kids. That might be the piece. Like, hey, we bring one of our kids, then they'll be you're well,
I definitely have to bring my little turd.
yeah.
How is that
Yeah,
little turd, by the way? I miss him terribly.
He is tall, skinny, and in the gifted class. I don't know how he's my child.
It must have gotten it from your absolutely wonderful wife.
I believe that is probably where it all came from.
Yeah.
The other one. I do know he's my son for a fact because we could both have dad bods.
He's the
Yeah,
goading
but
child.
he'll grow out of his.
No, man, it's fine. I'm gonna I'm cultivating mass.
Hold on.
Nice. There we go. Fucking cement that shit. God, I
And we're
hate him
back.
already. Oh shit. Well, all
That's
right. So I will say that is a podcast. If you guys will say that is a podcast,
That is a wrap.
cool.
I dare say
so-
I had tons of fun.
So yeah.
So Glenn, question for you: if for the 12 people that'll be watching this, where can they find out about your work with World of Darkness?
Absolutely nowhere as of yet, but keep an eye out for Kickstarters, and I'll be more than happy to come back on the show and show off the product. Maybe even dropping a sample or some ash can rules, if in the case that this project gets finished. It's the way things go. I had a Fallout Texas project that kind of fell through with my friend who is had gotten out of, was basically in prison the entire time that I was in the army for robbing 3 banks. But hopefully he never sees this. But yeah, that's
Just tell me to stop watching Heist. It's well known that every man who watches Heist think that they can go rob a bank because they know exactly what will happen, but we all know we're idiots and it'll fail.
Yeah, that's why you watch Fast 4 instead.
right. But no, that kind of fell through the thing. But could have. We came up with this spectacular concept for a Fallout monster. It's the Radillo, and it is essentially a armadillo that had been elongated into a centipede-like creature that does what's the word I'm looking for? Ambush tactics. Basically, it has a hovel. It pops out of the ground, grabs your ass, and all of a sudden, you're surrounded by lots of teeny tiny little claws and sharp little teeth
that's cool.
underneath the Texas desert. So yeah, it's maybe they'll see the light of day one day, but we'll see with the success of this one, which I have earnest hope with me and James's teamwork that eventually this will see the light of day. So
Nice.
thank you for your support, gentlemen.
No. Thank you for dropping in on such short notice.
Anything for you, bro.
Thanks, man. All right, guys. You two
Anything.
keep it classy.
Bye,
All
y'all.
right, bye.